Hi everyone, welcome to our annual meeting for UNAOC. We're so happy to be here. So we have events going on throughout the year, and it's a great way to learn about what we're doing and how you can get involved. Thank you.
Presenter. For those of you, well, I think I met everybody, but my name is Dave Rice. I'm president of United and focus areas, into our community, and probably the most important of the Sustainable Development Goals. Who can tell me the most important?
17.
Number what? 17, which is the partnerships and collaboration, and that just says that if we don't learn how to get out of silos and really collaborate, meaning in activities, not just in like referencing, hey, yeah, we know those people and we talk to them, no, activities, projects, something, then we're not going to be able to actually achieve the goals globally. We have to collaborate, truly collaborate. And so we're very interested, we're not a big group, but we are an all-volunteer group, and we're really interested in connecting and collaborating wherever we can, all right, with like-minded folks who want to achieve the same things that we do. So anyways, we also online have a number of folks visiting us on Zoom today, which is exciting. And I think let's have Blaze. Are you able to introduce yourself? Can we hear you?
Hi, Rona Blaze. I'm a current student. I'm a current political science and philosophy major at Camino College, and I'm an intern for the Ted Lieu campaign. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity to come and get to know you all.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Celeste, I know that you maybe have met some of these folks, but go ahead and introduce yourself anyways, will you?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Celeste Lear, and I have been working with Mia Hannock for many years on various United Nations involved installations. We've done high-tech multimedia installations over the years, video mapping experiences, we've done augmented reality educational experiences, and I have just been really honored to come in and wear a couple different hats as a producer and an immersive experience designer, and I also do music and sound direction with this project. And I met Dave at the Green Economy Conference, and there was just a lot of incredible overlap of what we were working on and Dave's overall vision for what he's doing with the UNA and OC. And my company is called Boutique XR, and I've been involved in the immersive tech and extended reality industry for the last 8 years.
Yeah, very exciting. And so thank you. And then I think you all have met Mia, who spoke to us at our UN Day event. And she's also going to be presenting today as a special guest speaker. So, I'll let you hold off on intro. But anyways, again. Okay. And then Nazreen, a little under the weather, so joining us from home today, but glad you could join us, Nazreen. Nazreen's our vice president and also the head of our UNA Women organization. So she'll be talking a little bit about that. Did I miss anybody? Good? Good, everybody? Okay. All right. So without further ado, let's go into the program. We're going to review. Is there a way to pull up the agenda real quick? Everybody's got an agenda on your. So we're gonna start with youth engagement, right? What's happening with youth engagement? We realized that the values that we represent here with sustainability and human rights are very attractive to youth, and we need to engage youth to really not just come to meetings and all that, but to really become involved and to help foster coordination of activities and events, and also help with your career development, right? Because that's a major thing for youth right now. And so how can your interests in any of this foster some kind of a promotion for you in your career? That's a big focus, that we want to help with wherever we can. So my message and it's so great to see all the youth here today. And my message to you is just, if you have any thought or idea of something you'd like to do, and you don't know how to go do it, please get a hold of any of us that are here, and we'll brainstorm with you, and we'll try to make that happen, all right? Because that's what it's all about. So anyway, we are super excited to have some really cool programs that are going on with Youth Engagement. I'm going to start bringing up Dea and Samin, and I know Caden's not, she's under the weather today too, and just to talk a little bit about the Youth Council, and then here, you can use this mic, come on up. And then we're going to have UCI and SOCA be talking about the campus chapters, and then our Model UN ambassador will be talking about Model UN. Okay?
Hi everyone, it's nice to see you. I'm Dea, I go to Irvine Valley College.
I'm Samin, I also go to Irvine Valley College.
And we've been trying to set up an official, or reinstate actually the club for UNAOC at IBC. A kind of general issue that we've been facing with Youth Council that Dave kind of touched upon is just making sure that we have a very clear agenda, getting everyone on the same page. And so me, Kaden, and Samin, who've kind of been involved with youth engagement at UNA for a bit, we're looking to create a meeting schedule, meeting bi-weekly. We're coming up with an itinerary of ways to get the Instagram active again. We kind of deduced that Instagram is the most effective way to get engagement. We have people here today who are the first time learning about us through social media, which is so exciting. So there's a lot of potential there that I just think maybe we haven't tapped as much into. So that's something we really want to get started on, hone in on. And at the same time, making sure that we stay as disciplined with our activity as possible. So for all the adult people this year, we're definitely going to be coming to you guys for guidance. In and out, we want to keep a clear line of communication. But we do want this to be a good year for the Youth Council. I'm open to anyone who wants to join our help. We have new youth members, which is so exciting. And that's exactly the kind of thing that I was just open engagement.
Awesome. All right. And so, you had anything you want to add?
We are looking forward to helping the stream put on some events.
The mic is only for the Zoom, so it's not projecting your voice. So just try to speak out as loud as you can so they can hear you back.
We are looking forward to helping the stream put on some mental health events. And that's definitely going to be one of the bigger things that we're going to do this year. And then as we move on, hopefully through the next few years, we might put on a few events of our own. But that's still a work in progress. So look forward to that, but nothing anytime soon.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Yes.
Yeah, and any questions? We're on every speaker, we're gonna allow one question. And then everything else, if you've got more questions, just connect with them afterwards, after we're done. Yeah, great.
You mentioned Instagram. Marketing is a big piece of this, so well done. Are you going to Instagram to get people from other colleges or just your college?
We kind of just want high schoolers, college students. That's kind of our main demographic. It's not so much, I think it's raising awareness in a way that's very Gen Z friendly. I don't think we've really tapped into that potential yet. There are a lot of ways that we've seen that advocacy gets popularized when people follow trends, and you kind of see something catches your eye from a young person, you don't know what it is, you want to find out more. So we just want to spark curiosity and awareness organic. And makes it clear that this is an accessible group to be part of, which I think Dave emphasizes all the time. You don't have to necessarily just open in a suit every single meeting if that's not your thing. We need all the voices we can get. So yeah.
Great question. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Great job. Thanks for doing that. Okay, I think Khadisha couldn't make it from SOCA. We don't have anybody else from SOCA here, correct? Let me just say that SOCA University, if you all know SOCA University in Aliso Viejo, gorgeous campus that looks like it can handle 10,000 students, and it has 400 students. And most of the students are involved in international relations, and their ideals and their ethic is all around peace and preventing nuclear war and nuclear proliferation. These are big goals for them. So there's a huge alignment with what the school is all about and what we're about. And so a campus chapter got started by Emma Shervine a year ago. Was it a year or two? Anyways, was it 2? 2 years ago.
It's
a
been
grad-
3 years, big. 3 years.
3 years, okay, about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? And she was a graduate student, and then after graduating, she ended up going to Africa for a year, like with the Peace Corps, and now she's involved in a number of things that I'm still connecting with her on a business level with activities in Africa and other things. But in the meantime, that chapter has about 70 students signed up, for it, of the 400. It's pretty good. So we're excited about SoCA University, and again, to the collaboration point, I know it's difficult, to get folks together and out of our groups, but we want to try to do that wherever we can as well. So because it'd be great to put on joint activities and things like that. So we have our Human Rights Day event at SoCA every year. Got to make that in December for sure. That's on the calendar. Get that there. But we'll try to do more, at SoCA as well. All right. So I'm going to bring up Laura Harry from UC Irvine, who's the president of the campus chapter. Here you go.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, there is a slide. Yeah. Here you go.
Okay, so yeah, this is a few pictures from our full UCI chapter. I'm a business economics major minoring in international studies. I joined UNA last year, and I was actually part of the intern program, which I have a few of my interns here at Glenn, Lita, and he's like our treasurer. We did this awesome event. But yeah, we just launched our winter 2026 internship program, so that was a great way to get people involved last year. And I think it's also just a great way to get to know people more. A lot of attracting those college students is just offering them a place to find community with people who share their values. So I think 17 SDGs are a great way to do that. We just had another outreach event recently, which was a school-wide outreach event called the Anteater Involvement Fair. But that got us a lot of new members. As you can see, this was our last meeting. It's 22 members, and I think almost half of those were new members just recently. So it's a great way to kick off this quarter. But we're just looking into having community events, hopefully some speakers. We have one lined up with one of our professors at UCI who work closely with the UN Refugee Agency, and just hopefully getting more involved with SoCA University as well. That's a picture of us from the Human Rights event at SoCA. It was a great event, and just again connecting those communities is so important. But basically what we do at UCI is we have bi-weekly meetings, and so we focus on one of the SDGs, educate our peers about that, and then on the off weeks we try to do a community event. So upcoming, super exciting, we have one of our cleanups, so the Santiago Creek cleanup that's coming up on the 24th. We like to just get out and help the community where we can, because again, those youth, they like one, community, and two, hands-on activities and ways that they can feel like they're making a difference in person. So that's a lot of what we're focusing on this year.
How can we, if anybody's interested in at least knowing what you guys are up to or what's going on, is there a way?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Dana totally touched on this in the perfect way. It's really, our social media is one of our greatest strengths.
Right.
At all of those promotion events, it's just getting people to follow because maybe you forget about us, but we're posting pretty often, and that just gets people coming back. It also is, in our generation, a place where they feel like they can reach out, and maybe it's not as scary if it's direct messages rather than email, and so that just brings more people into our program. Gets people involved.
And so we just need to get everybody that information.
Yes, so we have an Instagram, but we also, for those of us who don't have Instagram, there's a bi-weekly newsletter that we send out. So if you want to give me your email, I can write that down and get you subscribed to it.
So we have a sign-up sheet here at the front, and if you'd like information on it, please just indicate that next to your name. Say I'd like info about the UCI campus chapter. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
If I was going to join the Instagram account right now, what would I type in to join it?
So you would type in UNA at UCI. So
Okay.
it's
Great, thank you.
Awesome. All right. Man. Good job. It's nice to have some of the new members of the chapter here too. So welcome. Thanks for being here. All right. So one of the things that the UNA has really had, I mean, it's kind of UNA and it's kind of not, has been the Model UN program. That's pretty much at every school in America almost, right? Not quite?
Not yet.
Not yet, all right. But anyway, it's always been on our mind, how can they teach the UN. You know, that's a program to teach about the UN, and students learn about it, and they do conferences and have debates and do all kinds of things. But clearly, if they're interested in the UN, they're going to be interested in some of the stuff that we're about too. How can we really get more engaged? And we're so excited that Dominic Trevino, who's going to come up and speak, who has been maybe the hub of Model UNs in Orange County for, I don't know, 25, 30 years. Dominic really knows a lot about all the various clubs and groups and everything else, and now actually has his own practice, if you will, to mentor Model UN students and all kinds of things. So he's helping set up Model UNs at some of the other schools and so forth, and we're just really excited to have him. He's somebody that's going to be joining our board as well to talk a little bit about that. So Dominic, that's for the Zoom, so I know you can project.
All right, very good. So my name is Dominic Trevino, and I've been a member of the UNA since 1988, where I started as a student. And then I've been involved off and on over the years. I've been doing Model United Nations since 1980, probably longer than anyone else alive. And I've been doing it consistently all my life, just about 46 years, something like that. I grew up, my older brother, first a little bit about me. I'm the middle child of 11 brothers and sisters. And one of my older brothers got me involved with the MUN when I was a freshman, actually, an 8th grader, going into freshman year. And I stuck with it. So my advisor, Mr. Rome Friesen from Laguna Beach High School, became an advisor for the national, the IMUNA, International MUN Association, and the big New York conference for high school and college students. And from high school, I went to UC Santa Barbara and resurrected the MUN club there. And they still are ongoing. They have a conference that I helped to start, and it's still going. And then from Santa Barbara, I went to UC Irvine, started the MUN program there, and started the conference that is also still going on. And so I touch base with different places that I go and different conferences that I help to start. And then I also work to start other conferences. So at one point we had an adult MUN conference called PAXMUN, and that was through the UNA. That was back in the 90s. I worked with a group of other UNA people to get that going. And that became an intergenerational, so high school, college, and adults could participate and get that experience.
What a great idea. Yeah, isn't that a great idea? Love it.
And touching on the base of how can adults be involved.
Great idea.
Well, what I like about MUN is that you're learning about the United Nations, you're learning about the work of the United Nations, and then you're simulating it and modeling. And that's what it's all about. You learn by doing. So in my work today, I've been a teacher for the past 33 years. I retired in June, and I just took a job working at UC Irvine part-time. So my retirement gig is teaching. Right?
Something new.
It's something I've done all my life, and I love it. I never intended to ever be a teacher. I had planned to go into foreign service, something like that. And teaching just kind of fell into my lap. So I've been doing this ever since. For youth, they like to be active, right? Everyone likes to be hands-on. Let's do this. Let's get something out of this. So learning is a big part of being a student, doing the research. So I have a student right now from UC Irvine, she's a freshman. She was going to join us, but I don't see her around here yet. Pranati Srinivasa. I don't know if any of you know her from her. She's a freshman. I'm trying to get her involved with UNA Club and the MUN as well. But as you know, everyone's busy doing all kinds of stuff. But the collaborative part is very important. Bringing people together, creating an opportunity, creating a space for people to work together. At Saddleback College, I started the MUN club or resurrected it.
Just
And I
this
have-
last year.
Just this
Yeah,
year, yeah.
Just did it, yeah.
And my president is Adriana Maher, so you know her, I think. And so I'm trying to get her to come to these meetings as well, or Zoom in. But also to work collaboratively to come to the meetings that, that SOCA, IBC, UCI, Saddleback College, maybe get it going at Concordia University at the college level to bring all these, young people together, the leaders, and then to create something that we don't have down here in Orange County is a local college conference. I've created college conferences all over the place, at all levels, and it's not difficult, but it just takes some dedication and some effort and collaboration. So that's what my goal is to support the campus chapters of UNA and NUN, and then bring us all together to create, what could be a very powerful instrument for teaching education. The UNA traditionally has been a huge supporter of Model United Nations, but it kind of comes and goes like a roller coaster. There's ups and downs, and so right now we're kind of on an up, going to try to support more. I'm also a member of the Lions Club. Lions International is the largest service organization in the world, and also has a seat at the United Nations as a nonprofit organization alongside the UNA. And so we actually have a chair where Lion members can go and observe and participate. And they're a big supporter of NUN as well. They actually host conferences all throughout the United States, all throughout the world. So, that's what UNA does, that's what the Lions Club does, and other organizations do that as well. Dante International, Seroptimus International, all these other organizations are doing that kind of work to support educating youth. And that's our goal. So for me, my part is I want to be, in my retirement, instrumental in bringing together the groups and, creating a little bit of a
Synergy.
yeah, synergy.
Yeah, a little synergy.
All right. And I'd love to be here. Again, I've been in and off, off and on work with UNA, and now I'm back.
Yep, and gonna be coming on board, so.
Yes.
Awesome, thanks so much. So a lot going on in the youth program, and a lot more to do, but we're excited about it. I think, when I started UNA 6 years ago, that we didn't have much on the youth program, so it's just been a build, and it's all of you that have come together and built it, And so we're excited about that, and we want to keep going. The one thing we're not talking about, and I'm just looking at Sarah, and you can mention it when you talk, but is the intern program that we also have, which is a good segue for youth engagement. So you can talk more about that with Sarah, but we're doing more and more on that as well, and providing, in some cases, school credit, so forth, for interns to work with us. So, all right. So I mentioned UNA Women. So that's one of our core programs is SDG 5, gender equality, and women's rights and women's issues. And we're so happy that our Vice President, Nazreen Ellis, has really taken this on, very passionate about the space, has put on a couple wonderful events. So she's gonna take a few minutes and just tell you about some of the events that we had, and then what we're looking forward to this year. Nazreen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry, I really apologize. I'm not able to join you today in person. I have a back pain, so I am so happy to be with you today. And I would like to fill you in about, shall I give a report about the previous events?
I mentioned that the Vanguard University also is very engaged in human trafficking. So they're involved in the Orange County award-winning task force on human trafficking. It's a big issue, way bigger than any of us know and realize. And it's sex trafficking and also labor trafficking, right? And so, there's just a lot to learn and a lot to become involved in that space. And they're a really good resource. Yeah, Dominic.
Also, In-N-Out Burger, that's one of their things they sponsor to human trafficking issues.
Okay.
And they're involved quite heavily with that.
All right. Well, we all love In-N-Out, and now we love them more. So, you know, even, and by the way, they're staying in California currently. They were supposed to be moving, but now they're staying out here. So good for that. All right. Awesome. Very good. Okay. So next, I'm going to bring up Sarah Bach, who is our ambassador for human rights. And Sarah has just done an unbelievable job in really building a human rights program. From events to social media and marketing and just an amazing content. You know, wow, just amazing. So anyway, Sarah, come on up and tell us a little bit about that. That's for the Zoom, so you need to project.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. And can we go to the slides, please? This is like a summary of what we did during the year. And I saw some new faces, so I will share more details today. Can you please go to the next slide? The next one. This is like a very brief title about the Human Rights Program. We focused on advocacy on social media, so it's an accessible and free platform for all people around the world. So we focused on that part, and we have different parts on our Human Rights Program. We have Human Rights Wednesday, Human Rights Update, International Days, and Human Rights Campaign. The Human Rights Wednesday is the weekly post that talk about different concepts of UN and human rights. And we started from the beginning the alphabet of human rights, and at this time we are in series 8, so we are in higher concept. And the other program that we have is Human Rights Update, and it's related to the updates that we receive from UN. The other program is International Day, and we celebrate and remind the observance of the UN from the day that they choose, based on the reasons that are important for the global UN concern. And the other program that we run is like human rights campaigns, and we run programs during a specific time. Every day we share different aspects and concepts of the same topic. We also have internship program focused on marketing and community events. Can we go to the other slide? This is what we did for the UN International Day, and during the last year we shared 26 International Days and over 80 infographics. Can we go to the next one? And the other program, as I mentioned, was the World Updates, and it was related to the UN updates that we have. During last year we shared 13 original clips and our 30 concise infographics. Can we go to the next slide?
Takes a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a minute. Lag time. There you go.
The other program that I mentioned was Human Rights Wednesday, and we ran the Human Rights Wednesday based on a color coding system. So each series that we have has a specific color. So as you see the flyer, this is for series 5, this is for series 6, and this is for series 7. So if you are new and are just interested in one specific topic, you just need to find the same color of the same flyer, so it will be really helpful for you so you can find everything easily. During last year, we shared 3 different series, including 33 parts across the 3 series I mentioned.
So Sarah,
Yeah.
every Wednesday,
Every Wednesday.
you come out with this whole new,
Yeah.
right, on Instagram.
Yeah, non-stop every
Dominic,
Wednesday.
Dominic's got a question.
Is there a certain time that it comes out, or is there a way to join, like, the podcast?
No,
or-
Sorry, could you repeat that
every
question?
Wednesday we are like posting, and anytime that works for you, you can just check our Instagram account, and we usually share the post in sometimes afternoon and sometimes around the evening. So just Wednesday, check our Instagram account. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you have any question, just comment, and I will answer any question that we receive based on it. The other program that I talked about was the campaigns that we have. Last year other was about the 17 SDG goals that we have. So every day we share one of the article of the UDHR, and each article had 5 different slides. So you can find the blue one because every series has the same format. So you can just find the blue flyers for the 30 article of the UDHR, and also we have it on the highlight. And also about the SDGs. Every day for 17 days we share different topics about each SDG. It was including what is the SDG about, and the concept of the SDG and the human rights connection and that it has, and what's the situation, and also another slide that what can you do for advocacy in SDGs. Last year, this series was included. The UDHR has 150 infographics, and the 17 SDGs have 85 infographics that we share during the 17 days.
Isn't that remarkable?
Wow.
It's amazing, right? That's really amazing. By the way, a goal for all of us could be, let's learn the SDGs. You should know them, right? The 17 SDGs. Now, how about the 30 human rights, right? That's my goal. I know the SDGs, but I gotta really lock down on the human rights. That's one of the most important. Yeah, Dom.
There's a great website, it's Youth for Human Rights, and that's all it is, specialize in
Okay.
teaching young people and people about the human
Yeah,
rights. And
okay.
they have 30-second PSA videos.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So let's think about that.
One thing that I usually mention about the human rights and SDG is I think, and based on the information that we got from UN, most of the SDGs, around 80% of the SDGs are built on human rights.
That's right.
So why SDGs are like more strong in countries like US? Because fortunately US has the basic human rights. So we don't talk about right to food. We talk about zero hunger.
Yeah.
So that's the reason we have the SDGs both here, but for so many countries, we are just at the beginning. So we are fighting for the right to food. And after they pass this step, we can talk about SDGs for them. So SDGs and human rights are completely connected, and when we are protecting and have the advocacy for SDGs, we are doing the same for human rights, and when we are advocacy and protecting the human rights, we are also protecting the same way from SDGs. So they are completely linked and connected.
And yet, as we just mentioned earlier with the human trafficking issue and a lot of other issues, we've got hunger right here, right here in our backyard, a lot. And so all of these issues really are also relevant, to us in our local community. And, there's things that we can and need to be doing. All right.
Yeah. For the social media, last year we shared over 350 educational posts, more than 500 visual explainers, and more than 3 observers, and more than 25 international days, which reached out to more than 17,000 during the time that we ran the campaigns. The other program that we have, we are not just on social media, so we have in-person events, and last year we have a very, I think, productive event about the human rights, and we choose a theme, rights with roots, culture with courage. During the event we have a panel discussion, we have a specific clip, and we also have some funds, and we also share a newsletter. In the newsletter that we share, and it's on our Instagram account, we also mention all the details about what we did and what the other people did in our program. Because as you know, anything is not like doing by a person, and I'm the ambassador, but we are like a group, and the group are including students and volunteers. And most of the activities and programs that we have for the Human Rights Day, it was like organized and displayed by the youth and the interns that we have. Can we go to the next slide? We also have the internship program. The internship program that we have was started from 2024, and we started it with one intern who was interested in human rights advocacy, and during the 2025 we expanded the program with 3 human rights interns and 2 communication interns, supporting for campaign, events, and the posts that we share. Interns, for us in the internship program, interns are not just a student or interns. They are our collaborators and the campus ambassadors who have the strong ability for advocacy. And about the communication part, I just leave it for Kyra because she is leading the communication part, and I just talk about the human rights interns that we have. Last year we have 3 interns, and they were really helped us for running our program, and most of the things that we did for the human rights event was run by our interns. Can we go to the next slide? One part that we focus on the human rights program is the marketing, and we ran a campaign. The third campaign was called Year of Advocacy, and during the campaign we mentioned what we did. So it was like something that if the other students are interested, they can just keep in mind that these activities are available and they can be done easily, because it's very important that we have the advocacy in the things that are accessible for students and people. So we don't want to just talk in theories and mention the ways that they are not available or they are so expensive for us. Can we go to the next one? And for the next year, the thing that we are looking for the next year is continue our educational series. This week we started the new series and we share the first post. So if you want to follow that, you can just go and check our Instagram account and wait for the next Wednesday to see the second part. And we also monitor the UN news and try to share more about the updates, especially in the other region. And we also try to have the analytic part, so we just don't share the UN news. Every time that we share the UN as a news, we try to have some educational notes or try to have some analytics notes at the end of the news, because we just don't want to repeat UN. So it's very important for us that our community feel the concept and be engaged with the concept of the things that we heard about. We also try to expand for marketing and outreach, and also amplify youth and volunteer advocates. And if you know someone who is interested in human rights, please just let them know and email us. So it's the way that we can have our youth and our next leaders. We also try to have more in-person events, deepening our partnership with schools, students, organization, and community groups. So if you know someone who is interested in that topic, please just connect us and we will handle that. And we also, yesterday I sent an email about the suggestion that I have. At this time we called our program, Human Rights Program, and I wanted to change it to Human Rights Affinity Group, because at this time, fortunately, we have a small group, but very dedicated students, and it's unbelievable. Even the time that it's their birthday, they don't cancel the meeting that we have. And at this time, one of our member of the team is in Italy, and we have a WhatsApp group, and the time that we are asleep, she left a message for us, and the time that we are working, we mentioned the message for her, and it's like very sweet for me, and I'm so happy that to find students this much responsible. And I also wanted to give some promotion to my interns, and I want to call them with the new topic that they have, and that's all the things that we wanted to share. And thank you so much, everyone.
So amazing. So we got a lot of things to work on. Yeah, Dave.
I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
Alongside the really cool, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's for the Zoom. That's for the Zoom.
Right.
Yeah.
Alongside the really cool online advocacy and the series going on in the events, would there be opportunities you think in the future to actually do human rights work in OC locally, maybe
That's a good question.
NGOs or
Yep.
Getting out and actually enacting some of these?
Everybody get that? Yeah. Okay. What do you think? Yeah, that's for the Zoom.
As you see, one of the goals that we have for the looking ahead part was that it's very important for us to have to be engaged more with our community. And what main reason that we are focusing on the digital advocacy is because we don't have the building. So it's like I'm trying to use the best available things to share the human rights. So if we have the partnership and if the other organization, schools, they are interested to be partnered with us, definitely yes. Because as I mentioned, human rights is not just theory concept, and it's the thing that I always try to focus on and share the concept and let people feel it. Because it's very important that we see human rights in our daily life. And when we understand the human rights, it's the first step. When we have the concept, it's the time that we can defend ourselves. And when we can defend ourselves, the next step is standing for the other people's right. So definitely yes, and if your campus is interested, it will be our pleasure to have some events with you. And any other campus, I always mention to our campus leaders, if you have any events, if you need our support, anything from our side, definitely we are open and positive.
UCI started this
Can you
quarter.
stand up or something so we can hear you back here?
Yeah, the mic's again for the Zoom folks, but you gotta project for the audience.
Yeah, something I did forget to mention about the UCI chapter is this quarter we're starting a quarter-long food drive to, we're partnering with this NGO organization, Stand Up for Kids, which has been fighting
Yeah.
with homelessness for about 35 years. So if you guys have any food donations, please reach out to me with any of those. We're trying to start that human rights work in our
Great.
community as well.
Let us know, get us the flyer, and we'll get that out to everybody. Yeah, that's awesome. What I was gonna say is that one of the things I know Sarah's working on, to your point, Dea, is putting a list together of the various human rights organizations in Orange County that we can collaborate with. One of the biggest ones was called the Orange County Human Rights Commission or Council, and now it's called Groundswell.
Oh.
They're huge, and so they've got a lot going on, and so there's plenty out there. Again, it's just time and focus and ability, but it's super important. Strength in numbers. If we can get more folks working together, it's just more meaningful, right? I mean, it's okay. Thank you so much.
Just
Yeah,
I want
go ahead.
to add something.
Yeah.
For the Human Rights Day event, as Dave mentioned, I collected all the contact information that were available for the different human rights organizations in Orange County.
Yeah.
And I reached out to all of them as Human Rights Ambassador of UNAOC, but I didn't receive any response.
No response.
It's like
Go figure.
one part of the nature of the human rights communication, and I learned it because human rights is a very sensitive topic. And if you have a closer look at different organizations, some of them, or maybe most of them, are fed by the other people who are behind the scenes. So when it goes to collaboration, so many organizations try to just be cautious on the starting a new collaboration because they think that maybe we are just working for something behind the scene.
Yep.
So it's really hard to have the trust. But even in the email that I sent for everyone, I mentioned that we are not political, we are not a part of a specific party, and we are all volunteer. But even mentioning all this part, I didn't receive any response. But I think if we can be connected by someone who is trustable to that organization, definitely we can have the collaboration.
That's what it takes. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. It takes relationship and persistence and just getting in. There's a reason that Orange County has like 9,300 nonprofit organizations. It's nuts. They should never have close to that many, maybe 1,000 max. So many of them are in the same space. And so there's reasons for silos. There's reasons that people don't collaborate. And a lot of it has to do with money, sadly, but jobs. People have jobs in these nonprofits. And so they don't want to lose the funding sources that are giving them their jobs. They don't want to lose their members that are funding them and all of this. So, yeah, Dan.
I want to reinforce something that Dave just said. I don't know how many of you watch Firing Line. It's Margaret Hoover, used to be with William F. Buckley many years ago. Anyway, last night she interviewed a congressman for 30 years. He's black from, I believe it's North Carolina. Clyburn is his name.
Yeah.
And he said politics is simple. It's about building relationships.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very powerful.
Yeah.
And applies very much for all of us.
Yep. Great point. All right. Great point. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks so much for all your work. It's awesome. Okay. We're going to bring up Karina, who has joined us with a focus on, she was a UC Santa Barbara graduate, called us up and said, hey, I'm interested in being a part of what you do. And I mean, she's just really jumped in with both feet, as we say, and just said, where can I help? So she's really strong in writing. She's great in research. I mean, she's such a talented person. But we didn't really have a marketing group, per se. And marketing's everything, right? I mean, we need to promote. You have to let people know what you're doing. And so Karina has stepped in to really help us put together an amazing marketing effort, and it's just only going to keep getting better. So anyway, thanks, Karina, for being here. Yeah.
It's so nice to see new faces here, so thank you guys so much for being here on the weekend. I'm Karina. I worked with Malia in the last year, who many of you know, to build out our marketing and communications initiatives. Because as Dave was saying, there's so many nonprofits that exist, but they're so siloed. So we really set out to advertise UNA to the broader community. And I think in my experience, everyone who's come to our events is so awestruck like I was with like what we're doing. So we really wanted to kind of broadcast that to Orange County and the greater community. And we learned a lot of things along the way about what works, you know, from what time of the day to post on Instagram to doing collaborations with other chapters. So we're learning a lot, but we're trying to build out a lot of systems that weren't as robust as we want them to be. So it is a process, and in doing so, we wanted to create an internship program to make that a little bit more streamlined and to see what would need to happen to make that better for in 5 years down the line, in 10 years, when people wanted to come in, they're not having to build these systems, but kind of look at what is already in place. So we had a wonderful internship program. We had two great interns, Ayu and Dippy from SOGA. They are wonderful, wonderful people. So they really helped us in learning how to kind of develop the program of marketing and communications, what that would look like, what kind of templates we wanted to use, style guides, kind of like the nitty-gritty of running communications for a nonprofit. So like anything, we're definitely still learning and growing. A big priority is kind of being able to advertise for events, not only our meetings, but our quarterly events that are just really, really rich with programming and connections with people that you might never meet. So we're working on that, and I think if anyone has an interest in this area or has any kind of insight, highly encourage you to reach out to any of us. I would love to talk to you. And another thing that we're focusing on this year is partnerships, focusing on how can we bridge those gaps with other nonprofits that might exist in Southern California or other ones that are across the country and they're doing work at the UN level that is really interesting. So kind of trying to work through that, what that would look like in this next year is definitely a big priority. But yeah, we had a great year. If anyone is interested in hearing more about what we're doing, highly encourage you to reach out. On all the tables, we should have a copy of the newsletter, so that was another thing that we wanted to do to broadcast what we do throughout the year. A goal of mine is to have it quarterly. I think that would be great to boost our engagement and also be able to engage people who can't come to these meetings. We're all so busy, so I appreciate all of you being here today. But we're all so busy, so it's a great way to kind of engage what we're doing throughout the year. And if you see something that you like or you see something that's similar that you could help in organizing, Also, again, like, it's an open door policy. Yeah, Jay.
If you could talk louder for both.
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you, Karina, for having done this year. My question would be, can you talk a little bit about needs for like, our website and maybe do a plug for, and I think that's an area you need, and maybe we've looked into it already, but maybe you can broadcast to the General Assembly here for help on the website.
Great question. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, so our website, many of you might have found it. We really are looking to revamp it this year. I think it's really important to have a good landing page with the events that we're doing. Those of you that found us through Eventbrite, that's awesome, but we also want to have a more solid foundation of a website. So if anyone is interested in website design or really just wants to like start a creative project, I think this is a great place for you to do so. It's very user friendly as someone who is not good at website creation. So if you're in any way interested in that, it's, with UNA, like you invest the time that you can, and we're so grateful for it. So if that's something that you're interested in, please reach out. If you know someone who would love to add it to their portfolio, that's another thing. Like, we are here to help you develop your passions, your interests, and try new things that you might otherwise not want to do. But this is just a great place to really try new things and develop interests that you might have always had but never explored. So that's mainly what I wanted to say. Again, thank you all so much for being here, and I can't wait to chat with you guys here or after. But yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you so much. That'd be great. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Jay. On the website, it's a huge area of need. So let us know if you're interested or know somebody that would be. It's not a lot, but it's important. Super critical to better represent. All the good things that are really happening here. We think it does okay, but it could do a lot better. So anyway, all right, Jay is going to come up and talk to us about member growth and engagement. Just kind of a small topic here, but I got to say, Jay, I love Jay's story because Jay's daughter Kaden, if you all know Kaden, is the one who really started showing up at our meetings a couple years back, and Jay was bringing her, his mom, right? Terry, your mom brings you, all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And sat back a little bit because she's a very busy person, by the way. Oral surgeon, and has a lot going on. A lot of work in the nonprofit space, and her sense was, I don't know that I can do anything else. But man, she got drawn in, and here she is now, just a major member of our board, heading up our membership, and behind the scenes on our events. I mean, they don't happen without Jay, So anyway, thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you, Dave. I UNA OC is my home away from my family. And so I feel very blessed to be a part of this community and this special family that we have. For membership, I'll keep it quick because I'm really looking forward to seeing or hearing what Mia has to say and share with us today. So we had a restructure of membership from the national level, so UNA USA changed a couple of things as it relates to membership. Hi Rachel, I didn't see you join us. Hello, so instead of having our youth as 30 and under, basically you become a youth member and then you're free until you turn 30. Now we've restructured it so that if you're 14 to 17, you're considered a Gen UN member, free membership from 14 to 17. And when you're 18, now you're an adult. So from 18 to it's a student, right?
Yeah.
So we call you the young professionals.
Right.
So 18 to 30, you pay a $25 membership fee, and you become part of the young professionals group. But if you need help with that, there are waivers that are available to help you with that. But the UN considers youth, defines youth as 26 and under, actually. Many of us in the room here are considered youth. Many of our members are youth members. And so once we had that whole new restructuring, we went from like almost 300 members on paper to about slightly less than 100, which is okay, because a lot of the other members were probably already graduated from high school and off to college and not really engaged with this here locally. So we've got slightly under 100 people that are more engaged with us. In terms of our constant contact reach, we have slightly over 1,200 people on our list that are receiving our email flyers. So that's been a good number. It kind of fluctuates. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down a little bit. But that's where we are right now with membership. In terms of engagement, I'm the first point of contact for many of you who are new to UNAOC. And Melissa, I'm going to get your contact after this. And so if any of you are Ford as well, right? If any of you are interested in getting involved, we have some major events that we hold every year. I explained to you the UN Day Gala as well as our Human Rights Day. Those are two of our major events. And then we have other events, usually quarterly, as Karina described, a lot with our UNA Women Affinity Group as well. So there are always ways for you to get engaged.
And our monthly meetings.
And our monthly meetings.
Monthly meetings are the
Yes.
best way to really kind of, just get engaged. So if you can't make them all,
Right.
try to make what you can because it's better live than on Zoom. Sorry, guys.
We're going to try to be more consistent with Zoom so that you can join us remotely. And for those of us who are joining us, Bia, I think you're there. Mar, you're there as well. Blaze, Nizreen. It's awesome that you guys are joining us from Zoom. So if you cannot make it, please join us remotely. But if you can come in person, this is really where you're going to get the needs of what is going on in our chapter. What events are coming up? How can you get involved? So if you are able to make it out on a regular basis, you'll be able to get better content. But if you have any questions about the events that we're going to be holding, please feel free to reach out to me. jchoi@una-oc.org. It's hard to remember, but
All right.
we'll hand it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, we are running a bit back on time, so we've got a little window on the back end to run into it. But let's keep moving, and I'm going to ask Sarwat, Dr. Sarwat Chaudhry, to come up, who is our climate ambassador, and talk about a lot of work she's been doing, and also that we as a chapter have been focused on climate. I'll just mention that we do host a climate call with a team of folks from San Diego and LA every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, so it's a tough morning for students often. But man, that's been going on for over 3 years, and that's kind of led us to what Mia Hannick's going to talk to us about with the dashboard. And so you'll get that link right there. But in addition, Sarwat has been super involved in all kinds of activities. He's going to talk to us about that.
Woo.
Yeah.
Thank you for covering the Tuesday morning
Yeah.
meetings. So I have a slide, and you heard about the 17 SDGs. Can you tell me which is the climate SDG?
Number 17.
Which goal? 13. Excellent. Yes. So goal 13 is about climate action, but as we said, there are like planet-related bunch of SDGs. So I had SDG 7 on sustainable energy. 9 is about sustainable production. 9 is about economy, information. 12 is about sustainable production and consumption. 15 is on life on land, so like reforestation issues, and then 17 bringing us all together, right? Partnership. But the point I wanted to make is all the SDGs are interrelated, and when the Paris Agreement was in 2015 was agreed on, there was until 2030, right? And we thought, I was just talking to my kids who are actually here as well. So like 2030, it seemed like 15 years away, right? Right now, 2026, we have only 4 years to get to the SDGs. So it's really important that we advocate for the Sustainable Development Goals and the UN values. So a little bit about myself. I'm a program director for Climate Action Program at UC Irvine. That's like my full-time day job. I work with 25 plus nonprofits, BIPOC-led organizations in Orange County, also 3 UC campuses, Irvine, San Diego, and also Riverside. And then work with interfaith groups. So we have like a network working on climate action issues locally. And my other part of my job is teaching. So I'm teaching right now for the winter and spring quarters. I'm teaching environmental sustainability to honors college year undergrad students. So, and then I also teach social sustainability courses in the fall. So, but other part, before 3 years prior, I was actually with the UN, United Nations, working, I traveled almost 45 countries managing climate projects. So different countries as a head of environment for the UN development program, managing projects, giving policy advice. And as I like to tell my students, my college application all those years ago, it's very important. Our high schoolers are busy, kind of waiting for the results of their college applications. But my application actually said, I want to work for the United Nations. And I'm so glad and I'm so fortunate that that kind of came true. So after I finished my PhD in Maryland, I joined the UN in New York. And then, like I said, traveled all over the world. My last posting was in Papua New Guinea. So as chief economist for UNDP. So now here we are in Orange County. When I met Dave and his crew, it was so amazing because, I bring up my kids because we kind of are like UN family. So to be involved with the OC chapter and, meeting all of you, this is like, it's like Jay said, it's like family away from family kind of thing. So, and because I wear this UCI hat on environment and also climate change ambassador with UNAOC, it's kind of like, sometimes these lines are kind of blurred. So, I'm putting both hats when I'm going to conferences and presenting. So I highlighted a few of the events that we've been involved in, but where I was also wearing my UNAOC hat, right? So like we work with a lot of community-led leaders. So Orange County Power Authority on their community aggregation program. This is where we speak and participate as kind of environmental leaders. So this is a picture from there. You can see the Irvine Deputy Mayor James Mai and then Susan Son. They're like board members of OCPA who are working with us. And actually, this week they have another environmental kind of community briefing for Orange County, which we will participate in. I spoke at the Orange County Grant Maker Summit this year. Dave was there at my panel, which was great. But again, kind of, both hats together. SIA pilot, which will come with Mia. So I won't talk about that. I also represented UNAOC at the Green Economy Conference for the second time last year. So talking about our work. This was at LA Arboretum. And then our monthly meeting. So last year we talked about the circular economy and SDG 12, which is on sustainable production and consumption, at the beautiful campus of Soka University, I believe that was. I'm teaching also. I'm doing lectures at the climate at the business school as well, and then my other hat is also working with Laura and the amazing students here as an academic advisor for the UCI chapter. So sometimes I go speak. So last year I have this, which picture? This got covered, but this is the UNICEF Hunger Banquet talking about inequities. So like linking climate action and zero hunger issues. And this one, I believe, is a picture of the Great American Write-In. So it's kind of being involved in communities that we were there. So a lot of activities going on. And I think we are really fortunate to have kind of dedicated group of experts that are kind of, because climate change and environmental issues are so related to all the sustainable goals. So this advocacy is really important, and having all this young youth engaged, that should really kind of helps to continue the work. It's difficult environment right now, working on planetary issues, but we have to keep up the positive. This is what I always tell the students, like we have to look at the what is at stake and keep positive and keep working on these issues. So I'm going to end here.
100%. Thank you so much. All you do, and she said she's found the family well. How great has it been for us to have Sarwat and her family? Nisa, who's joining our board today, by the way, as our technical director. And Dea has also just been amazing, working with us as so many others. So it's just so it's so rewarding, to have this level of folks involved, with us. Also, by the way, speaking of folks who help out, I want to point out Caden back here, who's been filming our events. And so appreciate, coming from LA to film our events, and I mean, he's in film, so that's cool. But I mean, what a wonderful gift. Thank you so much, Caden. So the climate topic is a perfect segue to introduce Mia Hannock, our speaker. And so like I said, I know we're a little back, but you're going to want to hear this because this is so exciting right now. What is happening in the chapter on starting out with climate, but ultimately the SDGs. And it has to do with SIA, the Sustainable Impact Alliance organization that we formed a few years ago as a way to take up the UN on its challenge to localize the SDGs. It said if you're going to realize the SDGs at a global level, the only way we're going to do that is if we can take the model and bring it local. And there's a website, local2030.org, that describes this. Many countries have signed up and are all over it, and not so much the US, right? But we decided as a chapter, let's make this our mission to figure out how to go do that. So there's a lot involved. There's a lot here. We need to get leaders involved from all the industry segments, government, academia, business, nonprofit, to come together and take some ownership. The thing that we realized is missing the most is the ability to pull information together so that we know how to measure anything. You can't manage what you can't measure. And so we set on that mission. How can we do this? What's going on? Who's doing it? How is it that nobody seems to be doing this? Right? This is so critical. And so, fortunately, we went down a few paths, and fortunately, as Celeste mentioned, I ran into Celeste at the Green Economy Conference, one of our partners with the climate team, Greg Apodaca up in Pasadena. And she then, we started talking and told her what we wanted to do, and she was saying, filling me in on the whole new level of technology called XR, extended reality, and where things are going. And then that introduced us to Mia Hannock, who she's been working with, as she said, for a number of years, working with the UN on using digital art to educate the masses. And so anyway, we put together just an amazing team of folks who are about to launch, finally, our development of a pilot project for this, what's called, it's called the Sustainable Impact Alliance XR, all right, dashboard. SIA XR. And so Mia's going to kind of take us through that and talk about that and then where that can potentially go.
Question on the Zoom.
Question on the Zoom. Bia. Yes, ma'am. You want to ask now, Bia? Bia? You got to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, everybody. I am so sorry I cannot stay longer. I wish I could, and I couldn't be attending person. But I wanted to say hello to everybody. I was away because I was in Brazil as a global ambassador of UNA. I was participating at COP30 in Brazil, and I would love to update you guys with everything that happened there in the next meeting. And also, I'm leaving tomorrow to Davos, where I'm going to be speaking at the World Women Davos Agenda 2026, and I'm very excited about that. And I would love to catch up with you all when I have a chance, as soon as I return next week from Davos.
That would be great. That would be great, Bia. And I know you got to run. Thank you so much for all that you do. Bia is our global ambassador, obviously. She's speaks 9 languages, does a lot of translating for the UN and many others, and she's just amazing. So Bia, thank you so much.
Thanks
you,
everybody.
You all right.
Miss you all.
All right, awesome. All right. And we'll want to hear the full update when you get back, okay?
Absolutely.
Next monthly meeting. Okay, so Mia,
Hi.
I'll turn it over to you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
We
can see
okay.
it. Yeah, we're good.
And just for everyone out there, I put it in the chat, but also for everyone in the audience, our new website is siaxr.org, so siaxr.org. And I just want to acknowledge my colleague Celeste Lear, who introduced us earlier. We just finished a 20-year cycle of working with the United Nations. We started doing public art and visual art projects with the United Nations in 2005 and all the way through 2025. So now we're embarking into 2026 with a new project, as Dave just introduced, for the Sustainable Impact Alliance. And what this is I'm gonna.
I think you got the gist that we're starting with SDG 11, and within 11, 10 targets. By the way, target number 1, affordable housing, right, which I'm super excited about because it's one of our biggest issues. 2 is transportation. I mean, there's a lot in SDG 11. But 6, which we're starting on here, is environmental management of the area. So we're looking at emissions data, air quality data, and it's just to get that initial pilot rolling, and then we can grow it. And so the goal is to both grow it deep, meaning get it to other cities, get it to other counties in California, San Diego, LA, get them all on board. Ultimate goal, California. That's our real goal. Let's get California bought in and on board with the idea of here's a platform to enable our cities to collect the data that they need to help them better create and manage climate action plans, which is what the state of California has asked everybody to do. And Craig, as you know, everybody's struggling with this, right? It's hard because they don't have the data, most importantly. So how great would it be if the state, EPA, could have this platform and just offer it, and just say, hey, here you go. You can now better create and manage a climate action plan. And with that, we'll continue to then add capabilities. We need to know solar panels. How many solar panels do we have out there? How many EV stations do we have? How many cars that are EVs? All of these things we want to bring in, right? How many gas stoves do we have versus electric? Yeah, great.
That all these communities are being asked by California to have one.
Yes.
And the first thing they tend to do is say, well, we have to pass a budget to do a study of where we are right now.
That's
They're
right.
saying this database would help them immediately know this is where you are right now. So
Exactly.
it's like where you are in the map. But the first place to start is where are you on the map.
Right.
And it would save them lots of money and make it so they could get it done in 1 year instead of 5 years.
Exactly. And give them a standardized way to compare their data to other communities. Because that's part of the whole idea of the SDGs, is if we can start collecting this information about any of the targets, no matter what they are, how do we then compare that to other communities with that target? That's part of the whole goal.
Which makes it easier to get grant money and
all of that. It facilitates the whole system. There's so much money and wasted effort going on today in all these silos, and no collaboration. And so this platform is a way to help really bridge a lot of that. It's not just the platform, it's the whole program, but you need the platform. So anyway, I hope that helps, just sort of bring it home a little bit. Yeah, Virginia.
Could you just repeat the website that we can look
Yeah,
at?
it's SIAXR.org. SIAXR.org. And here's the cool thing. We've been needing funding for this, right? It's not free. We're not going to charge people. It's not a business. We want to make it open source and available for everybody globally, ultimately. But you remember Sean Liu, who was here last month? Anybody who was here? CS Taiwan? All right. They've committed to funding this thing. And see you, Sami. Thanks for being here. And he just told me this last week. I think we're going to have that next week. So that's exciting. We're waiting. Fingers are crossed. But we're close. We're very close to finally being able, to get going on this development of this project. And I got to tell you, this thing has huge upside. Huge upside. We'll see, right, Mia? We'll see where it goes. And Celeste,
Yeah.
I mean, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, and we just need to get going on it, and then also look for then other funding sources, and that's another thing that Mia and Celeste are working on right now. Grant letters for foundations and everything else, but that'll be a lot easier once we get the pilot project out the door. Yes, Craig?
In terms of what can we do right now, I just went to the website like Virginia asked for,
Yeah.
and then it said if we go to these 3 links, we can go to these social media things, which social media is still new for me a little bit. But I did. I went to
You're on
the
it.
Instagram,
Yeah.
the Facebook, and the one other.
Yeah.
Would that help for us to all do that if we're willing, because it shows momentum?
Mia?
Yeah, right now on the SIA XR website, all the social media links go to UNAOC's social media platforms. So yes, if you follow those and like UNAOC, that would be great. And as we unroll, once we roll out the social media platforms for SIA XR, we'll do an announcement on those platforms too.
So you're all welcome to give money to this, but also if you just show momentum and enthusiasm, that helps.
Great point.
Absolutely,
Great
thank
point,
you.
Craig. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Any other questions on this before we kind of wrap? All right. Yeah, so Mia, thank you so much. Celeste, thank you for all of your efforts. Celeste, anything you want to add on this? Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah, hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to mention, so frequently the term virtual reality.
Thank you so much. And again, the original idea of a dashboard was just to give us the information we need to help us better know how to measure things. But with this, and with all this visualization and the XR and where everything's going with tech and the AI and all that, it's more than that. It's really educating the community in a unique way. It's immersive tech. It's immersive. You're not just reading things. You're actually engaging in the topic. Whatever the topic is, you're able to actually become engaged with that. You know, whether it's an avatar of you or some combination of that. This is where it's all heading. It's heading there pretty quick. So that's exciting. And that's why it kind of all connects to our theme this month is SDG 4 education. And this is really one of the best ways to educate people on the SDGs, on climate itself. Just 9 of the 17 SDGs climate, but man, there's so much involved and they're so complex in a way, and they're so interconnected. And how do we really communicate and articulate how they all relate to each other? The planetary boundaries and all this other stuff. So it's a great way to get it done. So there's a lot here, super exciting. Stay tuned. We'll keep everybody posted on this thing. If you want to be involved, let us know. And so with that, we're going to try to close it here pretty quick by just talking about some of the upcoming events. So we've mentioned the monthly meetings, the new member orientation that we have, the second Saturday of the month, the monthly meeting, third Saturday. We always focus on a particular SDG or two. And then we mentioned the UN Gala event in UN Day is October. That'll be at UCI, and Human Rights Day in December at SOCA. And I think we've talked probably about the volunteer opportunities. So if anybody wants, to get involved, just let us know. And I think apart from that, when we bring up so part of what we do at an annual meeting is put together a slate of recommended board members who have 2-year terms. So the way it works is each of us have a 2-year term. We're all volunteers, and so but every end of every term, then you just get voted for and approved by your membership, or if anybody else is looking, for other nominations or whatever, then you let us know. So at this point, I want to present that here's the current board that we have here. Myself, Nazreen, Rashna, and Bia in the middle of our terms. And then we've got the new terms coming up. Dr. Rial, who you didn't get to meet here. Most of you know Dr. Rial, but she had to take off today. She's here at the school. Sarah, Jay, Dr. Sarwat, and then new board members, Dominic Trevino, Nusab, and Karina. I'm going to have a vote and just say all in favor, raise your hand. All right, we got a quorum. Any denied? Say denied, or if you got a new candidate, raise your hand and bring that up, or you can just talk to us after, and we're happy to take other nominations as well. Okay. All right. But awesome. With that, I thank you all for your attention. Great meeting. Thank you to everybody for who presented and for your involvement. And thank you all for being a part of UNAOC.